guys, my name is Natalie Miller. I'm a junior here at ASU Tempe. In this presentation, we'll describe how the media obstructs women's representation in politics, how women can use the media to their advantage, and my rules for females when running for political office. So at this point in the class, we have all kind of grasped that there's a substantial gap in the representation of females in politics compared to males in politics. Fridkin and Kenney talked about the message of senators being misrepresented by the media and stated, press secretaries for female members overwhelmingly complained about the lack of press coverage for their members compared to the press secretaries working for male members, end quote. Researchers have found that women get less news coverage overall. Women are less likely to be used as a source, and the press is harsher on women because they are challenging traditional gender stereotypes. Quote, the reluctance to use women as a source may reflect the stereotypical belief that men are more knowledgeable and informed about politics and public policy, and consequently make more authoritative sources, Fridkin and Kenney, end quote. Michelle Bachelet struggled slightly from this by being framed by the media as well as her opponents as not competent or up for the job as president. Bachelet was able to counteract these claims by presenting her credentials both professionally as well as culturally. Bachelet is fluent in multiple languages, as well as having a vast knowledge of foreign issues. This, combined with her medical background and Minister of Defense position, ultimately defeated the cast of incompetency. The media and her opponents were ultimately unsuccessful and led to the eventual election of Bachelet as the president of Chile. Fridkin and Kenney discuss how the media obstructs females' representation by not presenting an accurate depiction of their political agenda. Quote, while female senators prefer to talk about issues like healthcare and education, the press does not stress these issues when reporting on female senators, end quote. This is obstructing women's representation by misrepresenting their messages to their constituents and, in turn, not giving an equal opportunity to both men and women. The third way that media obstructs women's representation in politics is that the media portrays women as less serious than men by using their first name, focusing on their appearance, and discussing the female's family life. Generally speaking, the use of females' first name in media is not only a tool for gender news frame, but also an underlying sign of disrespect. An example of this is Simone Royal in her campaign for president of France. Throughout her campaign, Royal was referred to as Sego by the media. Though this represents a closeness to her people, it's not considered presidential. Women seeking public office can face countless problems with the media. That being said, there are also ways to use the media as a tool. First, one may use it to present their experience and competence, and later use the media to prove likability. In the past, politics has largely been a man's world. Because of this, it is crucial that the first woman candidate has sufficient experience. Murray states, quote, overcoming dual hurdles of experience and competence are two areas in which women's qualities tend to be undervalued as they continue to be measured in masculine terms. These are necessary first steps in order to establish credibility and to avoid gendered stereotypes. Once a woman candidate has gained sufficient authority in the eyes of the voters, the remaining hurdle is that of likability. In the absence of proven experience and competence, a feminized persona may play to gender stereotypes and be a liability. However, having proven her equality with male competitors, a woman might be able to benefit from her difference as a woman candidate. In particular, women candidates need to strike a delicate balance between being tough and meeting societal expectations of warmth and femininity. Merkel, Sirleaf, and Bachelet all struck a slightly different balance, providing that there is no single magic formula. Clinton and Clark may have benefited from a somewhat warmer image, end quote. Lastly, if I were the media campaign manager for a woman running for political office, the 3 rules I would instruct my candidate to use would be to revise trait stereotypes, describe leadership activities, and to generate a clear position on issues. Studies have found that voters have a preference for agenic traits, and these are much more dramatic for women running for office. President Bachelet was able to revise these stereotypes by not aiming to be more masculine than she naturally is. Instead, she led in a way that she felt most comfortable in, not in a way she felt she needed to in order to attain the presidency. Additionally, it is important for women to describe their leadership activities in order to effectively convince her constituents that she has the proper experience for the job. Lastly, I feel it is extremely important when running for office to generate clear positions on issues and represent them over multiple platforms. This will combat the media's attempt to not engage in reporting on women's policy stances, and instead will give constituents the accurate evidence they need to make an informed decision on who their president should be. To conclude, this presentation described how media obstructs women's representation in politics, how women can use the media to their advantage, and my personal rules for females when running for office. On a lighter note, after reading countless circumstances where a woman's appearance is more prominent in the media than her policy, one can't help but think about the hit TV show Grey's Anatomy, when Christina proudly states, "Oh, screw beautiful, I'm brilliant. If you want to appease me, compliment my brain," end quote. Statements like these are important for young women to hear in order to change the current stage that has been ruling politics for the last 300 years in America and in many other nations all over the world. Statements like this stand up to the traditional norms in America and truly have the ability to empower women into the political arena, which is the tone that must be set all over the world for this next era in politics.
All right, former Republican vice presidential candidate and just one hot grandma. I'm just saying, Sarah, I'm in your corner. Hammered by the...
Oh, screw beautiful, I'm brilliant. If you want to appease me, compliment my brain.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.